Good afternoon, everybody. It's late afternoon, August 26th, 2022. I'm finally getting back to working on the B after a long hiatus of about a month or so of not working on it. It's running good. It's just, I think it has a fuel problem, a fuel delivery problem. So what I'm going to attempt to do is I'm going to drop the bowls. I'm going to drop the bowl covers. I'm going to change the floats. I'm going to change the needle and seat valves. That's about it. Maybe the bowl cover gasket as well. I'm going to do this all while on the car because I think I can manage instead of taking everything off. I haven't seen a video with doing this on the car, and my mirror broke, so I have to make a mirror, but that's okay. I'm going to make one. Alright, so this, once again, changing the float bowls, changing the floats, the needle and seat valve, and that's it. Adjusting the float, putting it all back together. I just don't think I have a float bowl cover gasket, so I may have to order them if I don't have them already. But I don't think that's a reason not to start the job. Okay, bye. Okay, here's my custom mirror. Tin plated copper bus bar and a round mirror. Use some gel crazy glue on it. Not the brand Crazy Glue. I think it was Gorilla, the Gorilla version. And I glued it here because this is the best spot for it, which you'll see later. Okay, bye. Okay, so here are the floats. They're both different. This one says Float Kit Front Carb, HIF Float Kit RH. RH to me means right hand, but I don't think so because this says front carb, which is the left carb when you're looking at the engine. Well, we'll see because the floats are kind of mirrored each other, see? Oh, it's hard to see them in the package. You'll see when I take them out. And this one says Float Kit Left LH. Left hand and left hand. So I would think that's the left carb. And this one is the right carb, yet it says front carb, so that's a little confusing to me. And now I just took a half hour looking for my needle and seat valves because they were in a different location. Everything else was in the trunk of my car, and these were in a drawer in my bedroom. So try to keep all your parts in one place. It will make life so much easier. These I had to wait a long time for. Okay, see you later. Okay, here's what I did so far. I disconnected the fuel line. See, this goes here. I plugged it. I disconnected the line that runs in between the carbs. I just unscrewed the 4 screws that hold in the bowl cover for the front carb, and I store them right here. That's the orientation of the cover. It's not that dirty. That's good. That means somebody used, fuel filters over the years. Those are the screws with the lock washers on them, and they're in the same orientation. And that's the orientation of the cover, the float cover. Just like that. I'm going to do the back one. Okay, I just wanted to show you why I made this mirror this long so I can wedge it, and there you go. Okay, so here we are looking under the front carburetor. Looks nice. And you could see some, if you don't like working upside down, then take both carbs off. But that's not a lot of work, but it's small work. So then have to take out this screw, which is the air fuel ratio screw. It's one on both sides. You unscrew it all the way. I think it's got some kind of washer on there or something. Okay. Focus here. Okay. Here's my float. You can see where it's working the needle valve. Everything looks pretty good in here. Yeah, unless there's some fuel in these floats. We'll check that. This is going to have to come off this screw. That holds in the bimetallic strip that holds in your jet, which is right here. There's the jet. Okay, so that's the inner workings. Oh, also there's a big hinge pin. There's a big hinge pin right here. See that screw? That has to come out, because that comes through here. That's your hinge for your float back there, see? Okay. Let me just zoom out a little bit here. Just trying to... Okay. See you in a bit. I'm going to do the back cover now. Take it off. So up here is the rear bowl cover. I just took it off. The fuel looks to be a little cleaner than the front one. And here are the 8 screws in the exact locations that they came out of. I mean, it doesn't matter, but I like putting them back in the exact threaded holes that they were in. So I'm just going to clean these a little bit. They're fine. That's just a little sediment in there, but we'll get that out of there. And here's a look at the rear carburetor. Is the jet. So we're going to disassemble these parts. The float hinge screw has to come out, right? The air fuel mixture screw has to come out, and then this screw right here. That's the bimetallic strip. It holds in the jet too. So jet's gonna come out too. It'll just fall right out. Okay. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm not gonna record it because I only have 2 hands. Plus I'm upside down here. So I'm just going to do that. Disassemble. We're just disassembling. Okay, so here's what the front looks like. This is the before picture with all the, you know, old stuff in there. That's the before picture. Looking at it upside down, of course. Looking at it through the mirror. Now I'm going to show you the rear. Okay, here's the rear. Looking at it through the mirror. I'm holding the mirror right now. Looks pretty good. So everything looks good, so I don't know why I could only do 55 miles per hour and 3,000 RPM. So we're gonna change everything in here. You know, could be the fuel pump. Not 100% sure on that. May not be able to supply enough pressure, but I tested it and it seemed to be okay. So, all right. So that's the rear. That's what it looks like. Looking at it through a mirror from up, you know, from underneath there, underneath the carb. Okay. Now I'm going to take the floats out, or I don't know if they're going to come out unless I take the air fuel mixture screw out and the jet. But anyway, I'm going to take the screws out. These I call hinge screws because they act as hinges. They're on the inside of the carbs. There you go. See them both? Okay. Right. It's already loosened the screw a little bit, so here I am. Now, what if the float could fall out if I pull this screw out? I wonder if it could get past the jet there. Not sure. Let's see. Yes! It can fall out past the jet. Okay. Here's what this looks like. I don't know if there's a tiny, there might be a tiny, yeah, there's a tiny washer there. Okay. Very good. And here's our little float. Here's the float that came out. Oh. Yeah, the funky side goes up. Yeah, like that. This is the side you didn't see. We were looking at this side with the letters. Yeah. Okay. Doesn't appear to have any fuel in it, so that's good. Oh, incidentally, you could see the needle valve fell out with the float, as it's not there. And I'll show you where it went. It went down there. Okay? Seem to be some mosquitoes out tonight, which I'm not appreciating. And I just killed one that was on my leg. Tell your friends to come. I'll be ready. Here's the old Viton tipped needle here. I mean, it looks pretty clean. Well, I just cleaned it, because it fell in a bunch of gunk on the car. So, I mean, if everything is looking good, that means there's another problem with this car, why I wasn't able to do over 55 miles an hour and over 3,000 RPM. Could be something else wrong with the car. But at least, you know, I had to do this because I bought this car. Who knows what the history was. And get them, clean these nicely, get them back on. New floats, new needles and seats. So we'll see how she performs after doing this. I mean, yes, the problem could be elsewhere, but at least I feel I'm going to eliminate this as being a problem. Otherwise, it's a big question mark, a big mystery as to what was in these carbs, because I haven't taken them apart. And I got this car a couple of years ago, whatever. So, still learning about it. Okay, onward. Here's the rear one. Trying to focus here. There we go. Definitely got some indications of usage on the Viton tip here. You know, you can't tell just by looking at something if it's worn. You really can't. You're not going to be able to see thousandths of an inch of wear. So, you're not going to be able to see that. Okay, next I'm removing the air fuel adjustment screws, which raises and lowers the jet. That's what it looks like when it's almost all the way out. This is the front carb. See where it's located. And the rear one is right there. Okay. I'll show you what I'm using. I actually just use this. Use a flathead. A little 1/4-inch extender here to get in there. You don't use a Phillips. I mean, I don't even know, because look, it's really, I mean, you could use a Phillips, but you might wear it out. A flathead actually grabs these. This is a very flat Phillips. See the way they made these. So a flathead, the right size flathead, actually turns them easier and grip, you know, seats better inside the screw head. So this is what my air fuel mixture screw looks like. Looks like it's got a rubber washer in there, and then a tapered section at the bottom. I mean, I don't know if this is the way this is supposed to look. I never had a problem with it. It did adjust up and down the jet, so it was working properly. And there's your very flat Phillips head. So like I said, use a flathead screwdriver. It works much better than a Phillips. But that's up to you. There's not a lot of force on this screw. It turns very easily. If it doesn't turn very easily, then there's something wrong. Okay, I loosened this flathead here. You can see it's turning it. Whoa. Hold on. Sorry about the vid. Okay, that's what that looks like. Nothing special. Screw with a spring. And now what's ready to fall down here is the bimetallic metal piece here. Maybe if I hold the camera, let's see. Let me zoom out a little bit. Rest it on my fuel line, then I can use this hand. Okay, I just got this off. Pretty simple device. This is where the screw goes in. Kind of get this kind of action. When you bend it, it moves up the jet, or moves down the jet. Now, I would have expected the jet to fall out. Maybe I gotta pull it out. Oh, I see. Yeah, see? Alright. There's the jet. Let me zoom out. Interesting. Very simple. I don't know if you guys would change this. Gentlemen or ladies, would you change this jet? I don't think so. Well, it's not clogged because I just blew through it. Looks good. Alright, gonna do the same thing to the back carb. And that'll be it for tonight, I think. Tomorrow, probably, tonight I'm gonna clean everything. Get all my parts here. Have a gander. This is what I call my parcel shelf. Thank you to Morris Garages for putting this little area here. So I can stack all my parts. So here's my jet. And that's where the needle goes in. Adjust how much fuel gets sucked out of there, out of the bowl. Looks pretty good. And a little rusty, but that's not going to stop from working as long as there's no rust inside. Nah, that's pretty clean. I just blew in again. Listen. Okay, that's good. Cut. Just to mention, I've never worked on SU carbs, and I'm not a mechanic. I just enjoy working on these things. And the only other carbs I did this to was my Zenith Stromberg CD175 SEs. I think that's their part number. On my 77 TR7. And those were really dirty. These are pretty clean compared to those. So I got to make sure these floats are good. It's just good to know. But I bought new ones. Okay. So now I just have to take out the bimetallic bracket and the jet on the rear carburetor. Okay, see you soon. Okay, the left jet is from my front carb and the right one is from my rear. Now look at this beveled seating, this flanged washer. Look how high it is over here and look how low it is over here. That's not good. That means I don't know if there's enough play in the air fuel screw to make these even. Look at that. That's not good. I don't know which one is right. I don't know which one is correct. The front carb, where this piece is pretty high on the plastic piece of the jet, or the rear one where it's pretty low. So that's a big difference. I'm gonna have to figure that out. Or maybe I'll just order 2 jets. Okay, I took out the old seat on the rear carburetor. Oh, hold on, my LED headlight is interfering here. Okay. The old one was an 8mm hex. The new one is an 11/32 hex. Not sure why. I guess they proved it. So there you go. Old on the left, new on the right. Old 8mm, new 11/32. Okay, everybody. Little bit of a setback here. As you can see, the threaded portion of my seat has broken off when I was tightening it on the rear carburetor. Now, I know better not to put a lot of torque on these, and I did not put a lot of torque on this thing. This is garbage. You know, you try to buy a quality part. I didn't even put a lot of torque on this thing. There's the, see the part broken in there. Hardly tightened it. First I threaded it by hand, of course. And then I put my little 1/4-inch ratchet on it. You know, and didn't even, you know, obviously I didn't even use the handle. I just was turning it from the head a little bit, seating it, and it was still very loose as I was turning it, and then just sheared right off. So I don't even know if I want to use these now. You know, brass, as you know, there's 3 metals. It's, I don't remember what it is, darn it. It's a combination of 3 metals. And if it's not made right, it's going to be brittle. Now, let me show you the part I bought. So, here's the part. Needle and seat. 373625. I waited over 6 months for this part because of COVID. Very disappointed. So I had to look up brass, and I used to know this from my job, but it's an alloy of copper and zinc. So now the package says made in the UK. Now that doesn't mean all of it was made in the UK. You know, this is a quality brand made in the UK, genuine spare parts. So I don't know, maybe they had a quality problem during COVID. Maybe that brass fitting came from China, I'm not sure. But I think there was a little more zinc than copper in that thing, because it just sheared off so easily. I wasn't even putting a lot of torque on it. Well, anyway, so it looks like I might pull the carbs after all. Unless I can find a way to get that out of there. They have these reverse drill bits or something, easy outs. I think I have some of them. We have some of them in our toolbox. And so it wasn't even that tight, so it should certainly come out easy. I bet you I can just use a conical bit or something like that and my hand to unscrew this, because I didn't have a lot of torque on her at all. I pulled it out of the front one too. I took the front one out. I was going to tighten it, and I just took it out because I'm not going to use these. I may use the old ones again. Who knows? Maybe I'll use the old ones with the new tips, but I don't know if they're the same. But I think, as a minimum, I think I'm just going to replace the floats. Here's one of my parts. Very disappointed in the quality of that. That should not have happened. I'm sorry. Here I am tightening it very easily. It didn't even start getting, you know, give me a lot of resistance, and it just broke. So just be careful with your parts, where you're getting them from. You know, I can understand they can get a bad batch. You know, it's not like they're testing every single part, you know. All right, thanks for watching. This is part 1 of, I don't know, part 1 of 2, hopefully, or 3 or 4. We'll see. Have a great night, everybody. We'll continue with this. Bye. So, okay, so I got a broken bushing in there, threaded part of the seat in the rear carburetor. I took some photos. I put them here in the vid. So, you know, I don't know. I really think it was a poor quality part. I really didn't put a lot of pressure on there. But I'm not saying maybe I did over tighten it, but I really didn't put a lot of pressure. I've done this on my Zenith Strombergs on the Triumph TR7. Didn't have a problem with those. This is just cheap brass, I think. I mean, I'm not looking to point fingers here or anything like that, but horrible. Something like this should not happen. But okay. So let me know what you would do. How would you get out that broken part? I think I'm going to get a reverse bit and see if I can squeeze a small drill down in there. It should come out because, like I said, I didn't put a lot of torque on it at all. So I bet you I could jam a Phillips screwdriver up in there and turn it counterclockwise, and it'll come out because I didn't put that much torque on it. It was screwing in nice. It was still loose. You know, I threaded it by hand at first. Started to feel a little resistance, but it was still loose. I mean, it's got to be tight, otherwise it's going to leak. It's got to be a little bit tight, right? Okay. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll get her fixed, don't worry. Bye.